Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to this training. I am here to show you Travel Joy and show you a couple of key things about Travel Joy, why I love Travel Joy, and how to basically get started. For those of you who don't know who I am Tisha Spencer. I have been in travel now for about 10 years, and I completely love it. I love training and helping other agents find easier and quicker ways to make money so they're not spending all of their free time doing travel, because like you, I work a full-time job, so I have to find ways to be able to work my business in a way that does not take up all of my free time, so I still have some sort of life and can enjoy the world that I'm trying to send everybody to travel on. The reason why that I am sharing and discussing Travel Joys, because this was actually introduced to me by somebody else in the travel business, and I decided to actually do a little bit more of an in-depth training on it. I did a real quick one when I first jumped on before I did any trips or anything, and just kind of ran through the site really quickly. But I'm coming back now for a second time around for you to be able to come in and really see what Travel Joy is about. Now, if you go into the chat options, there is the link, so you can go ahead and get Travel Joy yourself, and you'll be able to get it for 50% off whatever subscription that you choose. This is also being recorded, so if you feel that this has a lot of benefit and you want to share this as well, I will be uploading this to my YouTube channel, as well as sending out the webinar link in your thank you emails that will be coming to you within about 24 hours or so. So I know everyone's time is valuable, and for many of you, this might be your lunch period, and I understand some of you might be sitting at your desks and eating while watching this, so I thank you for giving up some of your lunch time to do this. So basically, this is Travel Joy. This is my dashboard. We are going to actually be going through my trips and some of the things I have set up already. So the first thing that you do when you first get in here, there's several different things that you can do, but I know the hardest part that I've heard from a lot of people is well, how do I create a trip? So over here on the left-hand side of the screen is a button that says create. Now with the create button, you can do one or two things. You can create an individual trip, or you can create a group. Now, even if you created an individual trip, you can still turn it into a group later if multiple people start booking for this trip. Now, you can also start directly with a group if you know that this is going to be a group and this is just the initial beginnings, and I'm going to show you what that looks like as well. So we're just going to go ahead and start by creating a trip. Now, when you create a trip, it gives you the option to be able to choose the photo. So you can change this photo to be whatever it is you want to be. You don't even have to worry about uploading photos. You just go in there and search whatever it is you want to do, Cuba, Masquerade, Mardi Gras, whatever your trip is. Now, for me, because I have people in my CRM, you have the ability to go ahead and just start typing your client's name, and things will start popping up and you can choose. But for many of you doing this, and even sometimes for me, I have new clients that I'm working on. So I can create a whole new client. And all you have to do in all reality is just put their names in. We're going to use fake names. So you just create it in, you put their information in, and then you click add. Now this person is added into your CRM of clients. Now you can even add more trip details. Now these trip details are going to show up in this picture box as we keep moving forward. Now this is information that you probably already have received when they gave you the first initial contact. They probably told you when they wanted to travel. We're just going to choose a date. This doesn't really matter. And the calendar pops up. If they have any destinations in mind, as you can see, some of the pop drop down, these are some of the destinations that I've used so far. So we're just going to say the TRS hotel, how many travelers there is, and what the total budget is for all travelers. And then you just go ahead and create the trip. Now, once this is said and done, it's going to open up into a whole new website. Now, this is now your trips. Your client's trip box. Now within here, you have the ability to edit travelers if need be. So say for instance, now this is not a traveler of one, this is a traveler of two. or 3 in the room. You can now create new people the same way we just created John Smith. You can create them and add them here, and then you can click this box that says CC additional travelers. Basically what happens is whenever you send any kind of communication to John, everybody in the room is going to go ahead and get the information. Now, what makes this amazing is the fact that when you're dealing with, say, there's only one person in that room, there's 4 people in the room, but you're only really talking to one person, but then you got to go back and forth because partner 2, 3, or 4 keep having questions. If you're sending everything directly to all attendees in the room, they all have the same information, and they can reply right back to you. They don't have to go back to the first person you contacted to get the information. Now, while you're in here, you can always upload the files. Now, these files can be anything. Files can be your quote that you pulled from a supplier's site. A file could be maybe pictures you want to use to send to the clients. It could be just about anything. It's also going to be the forms I'm going to show you how to create real quickly. You can also set up tasks that you need to do within this person's travel. You'll have a calendar in here. Basically, the calendar is going to be a listing of all the invoices and due dates and anything else that you might set up for this trip. Then you can also put notes on it. So say you had a phone conversation with somebody in this trip, you can now put whatever the conversation was, you can now put the notes in here. So everything is right here in this folder. This is like a digital folder for your trip. Now, one of the things you're going to need to be able to do is you're going to need to be able to create different forms. Now, there are 4 different forms that you can create once you set up your site. There is a regular form, and I'm going to show you the different forms within those forms. There's an invoice direct. This is only used if you are asking your client to pay you directly. So say, for instance, you charge a research fee. The research fee will go directly to you and not necessarily to a supplier, to an agency or anything. So that money will go directly into your account. I use the invoice supplier. Now this one is set up to once I have set up the invoice form and they agree to whatever said and done, they will go ahead and get an authorization form. And when that is said and done, I can now say, okay, this has been authorized, I can make payments. Now the proposal form is where you would submit your information about the trip. This is where you can upload if you download something from FunJet, Southwest, this is for the cruise lines, you can download the confirmation information and upload it there. You can even do links. So like I know for our organization, we can go ahead and create a link for cruises through our personal back office. So you can literally just send them a link with all of the different cruises that match that criteria, and they can make their selection that way. What I'm going to show you is the forms. Hopefully I just clicked it. Yes, it's running slow. So we're going to start with the forms. So now in the form, one of the key things that I love about this is like there's several different forms that you can use. This is the client inquiry form. Now this is the form that you would send first when you don't have all the information, because like many of us, we're getting emails, text messages, Facebook messages with very limited information about the trip. So we need more information, and nobody wants to keep searching emails, searching text messages, Facebook messages, especially if you get a lot of Facebook messages, you don't remember who you spoke to, and you're trying to remember their picture, and then they change their picture. Here you can go ahead and choose whatever form you want to send to them. I always start with the client inquiry form, and until they return that form, I don't begin researching their trip because I don't have enough information. But as you can see, there's several different forms in here that you can also use. Like this is for a specific cruise that I'm doing where we already know what ship they're sailing, when they're sailing, and where they're going. So I had to alter the form, the cruise form, so it didn't have all that extra information because it's redundant. Now, I did create a cruise form that's a blank, simple one. So if someone says they want to go on a cruise, I send them this form, and it asks extra things such as what type of cabin do you want? Do you want to include beverage services? Do you want to include prepaid services? Do you need a pre or post hotel? How many people in the room? What are the ages of the people traveling? Things of that nature. And there's several different forms. Now, we're going to start with the client inquiry form. And then we can send the form to John Smith. And if you want to, you can actually add yourself here. You have to make yourself a client, but you can add yourself here if you want to see what it looks like. So now that we have that form said and done, we're going to review the email. Now in this email, they give you an automatic standardized email of what to say. You can change this to do anything you want. You can highlight, you can add links, change the subject so they know. The subject is really important because you want to put something there that is going to get them to basically open it up, because just like you, they get a lot of emails too. So you want to make sure you give them something great. So this is a holiday trip that I chose. So we could say, let's plan your holiday vacay. So something to get them to open it up. Now, what I did was when you go through your setup processes, you have the options to connecting your Gmail account. And I believe you can connect your Yahoo account, because what happens is when this email goes out, it's going to go out as if it was mailed from your Gmail account. So it does not look like it came from Travel Joy. It actually came from your email account. And when they respond back, they're going to respond back to you, but all emails are going to be coming in here. But you're going to get an email to let you know, hey, somebody viewed something, somebody responded to something, somebody authorized something, and so on and so on. You also have the ability to go ahead and create a signature block within your, for all your emails. Now, this is something that can be preset up during your registration process. This is what I use, and I'm going to be updating this to include a couple of more links and different things. But I basically have, I do have in there that I am a member of Zeta Phi Beta because I am Greek, and that does work with me when I'm talking to other Greeks. They like to support fellow Greeks. I give them my IG. I also give them the website to go ahead and book travel on their own through FunJet, as well as the site that leads them back to more information on how to become a travel agent, as well as my phone number. So now here you can also add attachments. Any attachments that you want to add here, you can add here. It's up to you, but you have that ability. You don't have to. Now we're going to go ahead and send it. Now I just made up an email, so hopefully this is not anybody's real email, because they're about to get an email from me about booking a trip. And hey, you never know, it might work out for me. So now that you have done that, you're going to go in here, and once it like fully reloads, you'll see that it's sitting here. Now, once a client has actually reviewed this, this will actually show viewed. And once they actually respond and fill out the form and send it back, the form will actually be on this screen as well. And that's essentially all you have to do when you first get started. Now, when it's time to go ahead and create some invoices and stuff, what I'm going to do is you still do it from here. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you some that I have already created so you can see the final process, because I just like to work from backwards so you can see the final process and then go backwards. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to my dashboard. Now, when you want to do this for groups, it's exactly the same process, except you do a group level form. Now, the beauty of it is, and I'm going to show you one, because I believe I've done one for, who did I do one for? I believe I've done one for my Christmas cruise that I'm doing. Now, right now, this is the person who initiated, Miss Wendy Joyner. She initiated. This is all the information. You know, I've sent everything she needs. She is just now talking to her family. So when I go in here, because I have my everything set up by groups, because I do a lot of groups. So I'm going to go to all travelers. Wait for that to reload and come back. Now, once you have multiple people in here, you see this plus mark right here. You can add people to this group. So even if this is, say for instance, I have one group, my Thanksgiving group, I got one group going, but other people who are already booked to go, I can just add people to the group. You can just keep adding people as much as you want. But on the All Travelers page, what I love about this is you can come here, and in this box here, you can email everybody in the group at one time. So versus, instead of doing like a Gmail email where you have to put everyone's in, put them in BCC, send it out, and then they're going to all start coming all over your emails, put it here. It'll automatically put the client's name on it. You can put whatever it is that you want into this email, and it will automatically go out to the entire group. Now, when they respond, it'll respond back into their individual files in the entire group. What I like about this also as well is, so say for instance, I am doing a Cuba trip. Now, when I send out the email about everything about the Cuba trip, all the pricing and all the information, you know, I send it to one group. Now, as I have more clients added into that group, all I had to do was send more emails. It'll say send Say if I have 50 in there and I already sent it to 25, it'll say send to 26 to 50. And all I have to do is basically click next, review the emails, and it'll let me see each email before I send it. Because so maybe you might want to send something specific to certain people. You know, say for instance, for some of the people, you might say, okay, well, you know, you're from Cuba, you know, you need to make this reservation no later than this date in order to be able to go. So you can actually alter each email, but you can really just sit here and keep hitting send, send, send. For one trip that I was doing, I sent information to over 130 ladies, and it took about 10 minutes of just hitting the send button over and over again. Imagine if I had to copy, paste, insert, send, open, copy, paste, insert, send. This, I just keep hitting send, 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 and everything goes, and it tracks everything. And I believe I've done a group file on her. So this basically right here is the cruise 2020. It is a group file, and we're going to edit it so I can open it up and look at it. So basically, this is the form that we're going to preview this form. I'm not going to send anything to it, but we're going to preview the form. So because I'm going to be having so many people coming in from her family that I don't know, I don't have that information, and I wanted to take the burden off of her to actually collect all this information, then have to try to send it to me, all I got to do is just send this form. It's going to give me all the information I need, and it's going to make them now in part of my CRM. I do request their address, city and state for cruises, because sometimes there are discounts, questions that I've created through the conversation that I've had with the client. And this gives me everything that I need for their cruise. Now I can go ahead and they can submit the form and it'll go to me. Now, we're going to go backwards one step because I want to show you something. Now, say, for instance, you were doing a group trip and it is a set price. So say it is you're going to Unico, you're going to Mexico, and the resort is called Unico, and the room is an oceanfront room, and the cost of the room for two in a room is $1,500. That is the set price. There's no changes, there's no altercations. That's the set price. You can have this form set up with all the information you need to make the booking, and then after the client submits the form, you can now go ahead and create the invoice. Now, I don't have any group invoices in this group. You'll have to create that separately, but the beauty is you could create the invoice, and then the next box that will pop up will be, say, authorization form. So once someone gets the credit card, gets the invoice, they approve the invoice, they love it, they submit, yes, I approve this invoice, they now get an authorization form sent to them, say, okay, please authorize the first charge. Now, the way I have it set up is with my invoices, I automatically have them, I have the credit card authorization form connected, and I'm gonna show you how. I'm gonna go back home. Yes, I wanna leave, don't wanna save any of my changes. So now we're gonna go back home, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you some that have invoices already created. Let me think about which one has that. I think Bermuda may have some stuff already set up. But the beauty of this is, and I'm gonna show you some of the intricacies of this dashboard in a second. So I'm gonna go back to all travelers, and I think I did it for this one, not positive. But as you can see, I got the Bermuda flag flying in the background. Now, they don't necessarily see this, but I like it because it reminds me of where they're going sometimes, instead of having the same generic stuff going on. So as you can see in this one, I've sent emails out. I've sent emails out to people, and you see where it says send to all trips. This lets me know that everybody who is associated with this trip has received this email. So these are the emails that I've been sending to them. So if we go all the way down, like right here, it says sent to 6 of 10 trips. That means that only 6 of the 10 people in the trip have seen this, because possibly the other 4 were not part of the group at the time. And if I wanted to go ahead and send it to them, all I have to do is basically just click the button, and it'll say send to remaining trips. And boom, everyone gets the email. No more having to refine information, re-put emails together, search and search and search. Because like, for instance, this is what I did, and this is what I suggest you do for any group that you do. Even if you have the invoice, even if you have the emails and everything set up and you've collected the information, send a welcome email and say, okay, I have your form, just to remind you this is what the trip is. Because what they can do now is take this email and literally forward it to somebody else. And because you have created a group form, you can actually put the link for the group form in this email as well. But all the information is in here and everything that needs to be done. So let me go see if I have any group files here. Yes, I do have some group files in here. So we have a cruise form. This is a PDF from Norwegian as far as what it looks like. There's a credit card authorization form. I'm gonna let you see what this looks like. Now you can also get a form link, so you may not necessarily have the person's email, let's say, or maybe they want to go ahead and add it to a personal email, their website, or anything like that. But you can also do that. So as you go through here, credit card authorization form, it says do nothing, or we can create an invoice. Now you can get them to authorize their card first if you want. I'd rather do it the other way around, to create an invoice, and then you can just go ahead and send it. So I'm gonna let you see what the form looks like. It basically has their first name, last name, how much they want to authorize, and they have to sign it. Now they can also sign this on their phone with their finger. They can add their credit card information here, and then they can actually give it a card description, because what this does is it actually allows it to go into their client folder on the side. I'm gonna show you that. I'm gonna show you everything. Just hold on. I'm gonna get to everything. So I just want to show you as much as I can off of the dashboard before I move off the dashboard and go into a different section. So as you can see down here, these are all of my individual trips that I have going on. It lets me know when is the last time there was any communication with this person. It lets me know whether it is an inquiry, whether I just sent a follow-up email, whether the proposal's been sent. If they approve the proposal, it'll automatically change the proposal approved. You'll change it to when the trip is booked. It will automatically change to when the client departs and returns based on the dates that you put here. So as I have no dates here, it will never say she's departed nor returned, because we haven't selected dates yet. You can archive the group, archive a trip based on several different reasons, whether it's been completed, the dreadful no response, outside of budget, whatever the reason is, you can go ahead and archive it. Now, I believe I've showed you everything that I can show you right here from the dashboard. It'll let you know at the top how many proposals are out, how many follow-ups are out, how many inquiries you have going on, how many trips you've booked, how many clients have departed. I have a client departing today. She is on her way to Dominican Republic and still emailing me because she wants to book a trip now to Cuba. Now, there was a question in there that I saw about, I'm gonna go ahead and read the actual question. This is leading to where we're going. Somebody asked, do they have suggested emails or form templates that we would need to send out? We're going to start with that question because they do. And trust me, I love it. So where you go to is templates. Now on the template side, it's on the left-hand side of the screen, we have confirmations, emails, forms, invoices, signatures, task lists, and terms and conditions. So yes, you can even create terms and conditions for your email. So you can say, by you filling out this client trip request form, you are agreeing to having Platinum Travels be the sole person to research your trip. That you're the only agent, basically. You can have terms and conditions that state that by signing this credit card authorization form, you are now giving Platinum Life and their vendor permission to charge your card on your behalf for this trip, things of that nature. So we're going to start with the emails. Now there's several different emails that they have, and you can change them. You do not have to keep them the way that they are, but these are really good templates here. So you have the agreement email, bon voyage emails, basically the email you send out when they're getting ready to go. These are really great to send out a couple of days or a week before their trip to remind them, hey, don't forget to check in. If it's a cruise, remind them of things they need to make sure they have on hand, things to pack, things not to pack. They have the regular simple form email, friendly reminders, invoice payment emails, invoice email, as so many different things, passport info. Like we'll look at this one, the passport info and pre-departure email. Now you get to look at all of these emails. You get to change all of these emails. You can even, what I love about this is for a lot of these forms, not the emails, but the forms, you can even embed these forms into your websites. So here we go. This is the passport information. Now, for some trips, we do need to have the passport information up front. And sometimes we just want it so we have it in our client file so we can go ahead and make it smoother when they are traveling and when they are checking in for their flights. So you can, it's very simple. You can go ahead and insert anything you want. into this. You can put your signature. You can have multiple signatures if you want to. I only have one that I altered, but you can change your signature to fit whatever it is that you want. You'll click save, and then now this is the email that will go out. Now we're gonna go check out forms real quick, because I know the question was more specific about forms. Somebody asked about the 50% off subscription. The 50% off subscription is off of the entire program. It is off whichever plan you decide. They have like maybe 3 plans that you can choose. I think one is monthly, one is annual, and I forget what the third one is. But whichever one you choose, you'll get 50% off the entire thing. Now, as you go through here, where you see these little boxes, that's because I created it. I altered it. Like I altered the Christmas forms. I altered the client inquiry form like 4 times so far to fit my needs, because it is so much easier to be able to send a form that has specifically the questions you need. So you're not going back and saying, okay, wait, I forgot to ask this. Okay, wait, I forgot this. Wait, what about this? So some of the things like you have in here, the travel insurance form, travel services agreements form. That was the form I was speaking about earlier. You could actually set something up that says that they agree to only use your services and they're not working with outside agents. Because remember, we are agents. Time is money. Money is time. You know, and it really sucks when you spent days researching a trip only to find out they booked it someplace else with somebody else. You can do hotel selection, but what I want to show you is part of the invoices, because this has been very, very beneficial when creating my invoices. This also gives you different things. So say you want to give somebody a discount, or say the supplier gave them a discount. You can actually apply that to the invoice. So they can see the discount on the invoice. For when I was working on the Essence Festival, when I wanted to, so say for instance, you're doing a trip and there's multiple different types of rooms. You could spend some time and say, okay, this is the information for a balcony room with all the description, the pricing, and everything. So when you build your invoice, you just click on the balcony room for Disney Cruise, whatever you want to call it, and drop it in. It has all the information in there. We're going to look at this one just because it's right there in this bold. So this basically was a copy and paste situation. It told them the unit cost of the entire room. It gives you the date, the field. You can choose different things to add into it. But here's what I want to show you. This is the part that I absolutely love. Commission. Who doesn't love commission? Here you'll be able to not only track your supplier, you can put whatever supplier. Now, as you can see, there's tons of suppliers already in here. You type in the supplier, and then you can type in the commission split. So if you're doing a 70% commission split with your vendor, with your agency, it'll put it in here. You expect the commission date, the collector commission, and the collector commission date. So you got to go backwards and actually go back into the real form. Don't put it here. I just want to show this to you here because it was here. But I am going to show you a real invoice form because I know that is really important to a lot of people. But once you get the system, once you have everything, you can play with all of this, all that loveliness you want. But these are options that are available, and you can create and you can alter. There's also reports. What I'm going to show you is I'm going to get my computer to go back up to the top. And I'm going to actually show you it. Okay, I don't know where it just went. I must have clicked something. Okay, I'm actually going to show you a dashboard. I'm actually going to show you a real live invoice that I have set. On the tasks that you see here, this also just reminds you of different things you may have set up within your trips, as well as invoices that need to go out. Now I'm going to go and show you, obviously, okay, sorry. Obviously, so I have some tasks. I'm going to see. I'm going to go with, where is it? I'm going to go with this one because I know that I have some stuff that's due in here. We're going to go with her because I know she has a payment that is coming up soon. We're going to open her up, and I'm going to show you what an invoice looks like from here. So again, this is a group trip. I'm in this client's file right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the file section, because as you can see here, the email I sent to her, she viewed the last invoice reminder, the last invoice I sent her, because this is the invoice letting her know, hey, this is what the total price was, when a deposit is due, in order to lock it in. So here are the different files that she has. So this is her invoice. She's viewed it. Now, because when we originally started this program, I did not have TravelJoy. I was still working directly with the supplier. So her initial deposit was already done on the supplier site. The beauty is, even if you take a payment or they pay through a special link, say with FundJet, you can come in here and actually mark payments down as being paid. So this is what a invoice looks like, the one I did. I broke it all down for her, basically what was in her package, what the cost was, what the discount was, and then she upgraded from a junior suite to a pool view to a full suite with a private pool. So I wanted to add that on there so she can see the individual price. Now down here you have, oops, I went too far. Down here you went as far as you can choose the invoice, the supplier, and the credit card authorization terms and conditions. So basically you can choose what you want to be placed into the system, onto the actual invoice. Now when you get down here, these are the payments. Now what I generally do is I break it down by how many months they have to make the payments. So her final payment is January 4th. As she makes payments, I will come in here and say, okay, this has been paid, and I can mark this as paid. I'm not going to do it, but I can mark it as paid. But as for this invoice that I did on when she booked the trip, June 18th, I went in here, she gave me $400. I can send a receipt because I already marked it paid, but I actually never sent a receipt. So I could send a receipt, but you can always preview the receipt to see what this receipt is actually going to look like when you send it to them. So this is very simple, very easy. So now they have this, and when you send it to them, it's going to send them this, but then they can click this, the view invoice button, which is now going to send them right back to their invoice, so they can see what their total cost is. So I'm just going to go ahead and send this receipt to her. She's not going to mind if I send it to her again. And then we're going to wait for the system to reload and do everything it has to do. But this is so far, if you feel that if this is something of value, definitely let me know in the chat box. Let me know your thoughts. If this is something you really see that you could really be using. So this is what the invoice looks like. It has all your information that you decide on there. It lets them know everything we went over and how much is actually due on their next invoice. And when something is said and done, you can go in here and you can actually mark stuff paid as they make a payment. I'm going to actually save review, and I'm actually going to send this to her because I do need to send this to her. So this will go in. Now my invoice automatically says the first deposit is due and how the disclaimer, you just delete it. You just delete it. And then I'm going to let them know, because they did this with FundJet, I'm going to let them know that you also have the option of the FundJet payment link, which is good for 24 hours of receipt. That way, which I always spell receipt wrong. Basically what this means is that with the FundJet payment link is I can send them the link, they can make the payment, and then once I get notified the payment is done, I'm gonna come in here and mark their payment. I'm gonna mark their invoice as paid. And I'm just gonna go ahead and send it, and that's it. It's very simple, and the beauty is you can do a lot of this on your phone too. You can can't upload files yet because I don't know how to do that on my phone, but you can see everything that I'm showing you. You can actually see all of this. So now that you have sent this done, now you see it. I have sent the receipt, and you see that the email that I just sent to her, everything is tracking in there. Is there anything specific that you want to see? You can just put it into the chat, and I am going to review because I want to hold anybody too long. Yes, this definitely will be able to save all your clients. Thank you for saying that. What I'm going to show you is my clients. What I was able to do was I was able to import all of my clients and all of my prospective clients from MailChimp into this system. So I went from maybe 4 to 5 people as I was working it to now having over 554 people in my system. It lets you know if you're connected, if you have their Facebook information, your email information. It lets you know if they have any trips that they're currently connected to. Like we're gonna go with Chris Bailey because I don't have any trips connected with them. I can open them up. This is what the form looks like. Now this you can't really alter too much. The beauty is when you send the client form out to people, a lot of the information that's in that client trip request form, when they respond to it, it'll update here. Now, as you can see, I've never sent the profile update form to them, but in this form, I can get their email, their phone number, their addresses, website, job titles. I I did alter this to get Greek association because I do Greek-based trips. Twitter profile, whatever they want to go ahead and do. You can even do relationships. Now, what this is, I have some clients who are brothers and sisters and cousins and, parents. I can go in here and put that in there. And then I can choose what client to connect them with. Boom, right then and there. So I can go in here and say, okay, you're going on a trip. Is your cousin so-and-so going with you? It'll connect everything for me. Loyalty programs. This is important. This is really important to have from your clients because you can book with their loyalty numbers and they can still get the points. Important dates. So you can remember, hey, when is your birthday? When is your anniversary? So you could try to remember things that, to get them started. Travel preferences. This is important. I actually altered this, and you can do all these alterations in the template area. I altered some of this stuff. Like, for instance, cruise room preference. Do you want suites or you want the Haven level? You want mini suites, spa suites. I use this for the generic. When I'm asking them to update their profile, they get all of this because this definitely helps. When I have a client that says, hey, I want to book a trip, I want to go on a cruise, and I want to go here, I could say, well, look, I know you like Norwegian and Royal, and I know you like being in mini suites, and I know you like luxury. Boom. I don't have to ask you no more questions because you told me where you want to go and you told me around when. And then it just keeps going, a whole bunch of different other questions that they've set up. Passport information, payment info, notes, if they're connected to any trips. Now, one of the things I know you're probably worried about is when it comes to the credit card. When the client inputs their credit card information, we get their address, we get the 3-digit in the back, we get everything we need to book a trip. But you can't see it unless you actually log in. And say you've been idle and then you went back in and tried to get the information, they're gonna make you put your password in order to get in. And then on top of that, that 3-digit code, if you don't, it'll be gone in 6 months. In 6 months, it will disappear and you would have to re-get the information again. No, you don't have to get a credit card authorization form every single time a client does book a trip, but every time I send an invoice reminder, when they do the authorization, I do get their credit card information all over again. But it's very secure, and I know someone who actually had a lawyer look at it, and they said that this was a very secure situation. So basically what I'm gonna do is, what I forgot to do was, when I clicked out, was I'm going to send a profile update form. So you can send this as many times as you want. It tells you how long ago you've sent it. When they receive it, you'll get an email. When they fill it out, you get an email. So this is what it's gonna look like. I'm in preview mode, and my computer's running a little bit slow. Now you can change this picture. I think there's a way to change the default picture. It's just never bothered me. But you get all the information that we just went over. It went all that information. So now we're going to review the email. Now this is when you want to go ahead and you might want to put something in there to get them to remember who you are, because we all know a lot of people, and you may not talk to this person a lot. So I'm going to say, let's just update your trip profile. Now you can go, oh, no, I don't want to leave, stay there. I'm gonna scroll down. You can put whatever you want in here, but this is one of the reasons why I do have my Greek affiliation in it, because I know he's frat. So he'd be like, okay, well, this is a SAR. Now, if they don't fill it out and they might just want to email you, that's perfectly fine too. When you go ahead, you're gonna go ahead and send this. And when they respond back, you get an email, let them know when they viewed it and when they've opened it. And everything will get automatically updated into the system. This right here is amazing. I don't know about you, but I love this. There's so much more. The last thing I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to let you go, because I'm sure many of you have to get going, get ready to go to lunch. And remember, this is going to be recorded, and the webinar link is going to be added to the email. Thank you for being a part of this. This is my trip summary. It's not a full picture because I don't have exactly all my pictures in here, all my trips in here, but this is basically letting me know what my sales have been. So from January 1st to today, I have over $52,000 in sales recorded in TripJoy. I have an expected commissions of $149 right now for next month, which is not totally accurate because as I was learning, I did not add the commission to every single invoice. Now remember, when you build the invoice in the system and you're building it inside of the trip, don't build it from templates, build it inside the trip, set everything up. And then click that second tab when you're putting in the actual, like the hotel, there's a second tab that says commissions. Click that, that's where you put your commission information in. Now what this is saying is that I have a past due agent commissions of $149.09 based off the fact that I haven't updated this to state that I've received everything, because I have to compare with actual documents. But this shows me basically my total sales for every single month. It's going a full year, expected, collected. Like, I haven't loaded my collected commissions yet. It'll even give me details to show me commissions that, as I've been adding stuff in, I've been putting in the price, the booking date, confirmation, now this expected commissions is my commission. This is not my commission, and then we got to take 70%. Because I said I get a 70% split, it automatically takes that 70% split out for me. And some of these, let me see. Not sure why. Oh, I know why they have two. This person has two because in their invoice, I have two. Actually, I have three different types of bookings on that invoice, because I have a balcony room, I have an ocean view room with 2 adults, 3 kids, and I have an ocean view room with 2 adults, 1 kid. So I had to break out the price individually like that. So that's why there's 3 different bookings. This is going to track not necessarily your invoices, but it's going to track the actual boxes you're putting in the invoices and the commission that you're loading. Now, this is just for August 2nd for the month of August. Now, you can do by trip start date, and I'll actually filter this by the dates that trips are supposed to start. Like right now, she's traveling. She's already gone. She left yesterday. I thought she was leaving today. She's already gone and still emailing me from Dominican Republic about Cuba. Everything is in here, right here. Now I can say what it is for next month, and then I'm going to go ahead and say commit by commission expected date. This is amazing, because this is not something that you're really going to get anywhere. I've actually looked in several different places, but this is letting me know that for the month of September, this is what I'm kind of expecting to get for my last cruise. Now, this is not completely accurate, again, because I did not update every single thing, but this is based off of individual bookings, even though these are all part of a group. So hopefully this was very informational for you. Hopefully this was able to give you some insight, give you some help, show you ways that you can actually, grow your business in a way that will not take up a lot of time. I will tell you this: when you first get started, please be able to dedicate at least an hour to hour and a half of time to not only learn the program, but set up your invoices, set up your templates to the way that you want them to be. Excuse me. And then when it's all said and done, if you still have more questions, once you get started, you can come to the tutorials. Excuse me. They have tons of tutorials in here that you can watch, that you can only see once you join. And with this 50% off link that I'm giving you, you will have 7 days to use the program. Excuse me. Get a little water there. But you will have 7 days to actually test everything out before a payment is required. So hopefully you have gotten everything that you need. Hopefully that you are impressed. So I see one question from Yvonne McBeth asks about MailChimp. Basically, all I'm doing is I downloaded my contact list, I export it from MailChimp and import it into here. It's not like it's reading it or anything like that. You just go ahead and export from MailChimp, export from Constant Contact, export from wherever, and then you'll be able to import it under the client section. Any more questions, concerns? Oh, I'm so sorry, Tawanika. Hopefully this is great. I'm going to go ahead and end it. We're almost at our 45-minute mark. You can add, you can import, you can export. And for those of you that use Ensemble, you can actually export all of these clients into an Excel document and then use it to send it to Ensemble. So now I have 554 people who are going to be getting those emails and those promotions from Ensemble soon. So you can merge client profiles, because sometimes you might have duplicates. You can export, you can edit the profile fields, excuse me, and you can add your clients. So hopefully this works for everybody. This is what everybody needs. I'm gonna go ahead and bid you good afternoon. If you have any more questions or concerns, you can let me know. You need to download Travel Joy, that link that I provided in the chat. Go ahead and download all the information. You'll be able to see the cost, but trust me, the cost of this program costs less than what it does to run our own travel business, ourselves. And my discount that I'm providing to you will actually give you 50% off for 3 months. I hope everyone has a good afternoon. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your holiday. Be safe and have fun. Oh.